Ladies and gentlemen, the NBA playoffs are starting, so I'm going to give you my predictions for all of the rounds. Yes, the play-in games have probably been finished by the time this video is uploaded, but just ignore that. And yeah, let's just get straight into the video. I got the Nets and the Hawks advancing in the East play-in, and in the West play-in, I have the Clippers and the Timberwolves. I think really the Nets, they're going to be getting everyone back. Ben Simmons will be back soon. I think that's a huge advantage for them. Also for the Hawks, I feel like Cleveland, the Cavaliers of course, have really fallen off the past 15 games. So I think the Hawks will slide into that 8th seed. Out west though, the Clippers, they're getting healthy now. Paul George is back. Still no Kawhi. Robert Covington, he's been going off. And really for the Timberwolves, it's long overdue. We'll see what Anthony Edwards can do in the playoffs. His first really playoff environment ever. Karl Anthony Towns, we haven't seen much of him in the playoffs. I think the Timberwolves have made the playoffs like once or twice in his career. So I'm really excited to see that. Now let's talk about what will be, in my opinion, the best first round series, and that will be the Golden State Warriors and the Denver Nuggets. The Golden State Warriors on paper look stacked, but that is on paper. They've dealt with injuries this year. Curry, he's Curry. I mean, what can you say about that? Klay Thompson, he's really been recovering well from that injury, and he's looked really good. He had 41 the other night. Jordan Poole, who will be in the most improved player running. All-star starter Andrew Wiggins. I don't know how the hell that happened, but it did. And Draymond Green, of course, one of the best defensive players in the league, matching up with the MVP Nikola Jokic. And they also got Bones Highland, great young guard. Aaron Gordon, also really good. And you also got Austin Rivers. I don't know if Michael Porter Jr. will play, but really I just don't think that the Golden State Warriors have a big man that can guard Jokic, because really that's a huge hole for them because they don't have Wiseman. And even if they did have him, that would be very hard for him to guard Jokic. But still, I think the Warriors' scoring output will give them the win in 7 games. Now let's also talk about the Dallas Mavericks and the Utah Jazz. I think this is a really good matchup because the Dallas Mavericks traded Kristaps Porzingis at the deadline for Spencer Dinwiddie. And we all saw that as kind of like a what the fuck move for Dallas. We were like, why are they trading their big Kristaps Porzingis when really Spencer Dinwiddie's been great for Dallas? On the other hand, with Utah, I think every year they're a really good regular season team and they haven't made those next steps in the playoffs. And I don't know when they'll do that, but I don't think they'll be able to. I think the Mavericks, they'll finally make the second round. I think Luka will have one of the best playoff series of all time. The Mavericks will win 6 games. And the Jazz will be contemplating their future. I also want to talk about the Nets and the Celtics. I think this series will be very similar to last year's Suns and Lakers, where last year we saw the Lakers weren't very healthy until the playoffs, and they gave the Suns a really good fight. I think this will happen in this series as well. I think the Nets, if they just throw Ben Simmons in there, it might not work out. But at the same time, they are very stacked. But the Celtics, one of the hottest teams in the league. Jason Tatum, he is looking like a bona fide superstar. The Celtics will win this in 7 games. Now let's talk about the Miami Heat and Philadelphia 76ers. This will definitely happen in round 2. And the Miami Heat are stacked from top to bottom, and they have potential to even get better now because Victor Oladipo is back. And he had a 40-point night the other night. So if he can continue that into the playoffs, the Heat can be really dangerous. They also got Jimmy Butler, who's been playing great this year. Bam Adebayo, who might be Defensive Player of the Year. Tyler Hero, definitely the 6th man of the year. Then you also got Kyle Lowry, his stick ass. And yeah, the Heat are really stacked. Now the 76ers, they got a big 3 of Joel Embiid, who is an MVP candidate. You also got Tyrese Maxey, who is one of the best young guards in the league. And how could I forget James Harden? really has improved as a playmaker, and he's a great overall player, but it won't be enough to beat the stacked Miami Heat. I got the Heat in 7 games. Alright, so let's talk about the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics. The Bucks, they are a stacked team. They are also the defending champions. You got one of the best players in basketball, if not the best, Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's amazing. You also got a great second option, Chris Middleton, who's also a great all-star level player. Drew Holiday, a great defensive guard. You also got some guys they added this offseason, like Grayson Allen, who's been a great bench scorer for them. Serge Ibaka, and also George Hill is now back with the team. So those are some great additions for them. But they did lose out on Dante DiVincenzo. I think that was at the deadline. He went to Sacramento. Now, with the Celtics, they are a red-hot team. They got Jason Tatum, who is a superstar for sure now. He's one of the best young players in the league. And another potential superstar, Jaylen Brown. He's also really an all-star level player. I think he is great. You also got, in my opinion, the defensive player of the year, Marcus Smart. So this really is a very even matchup. But I got the Milwaukee Bucks, the defending champions, winning in 6 games. Suns and Mavericks. I mean, this is a no-brainer. Suns in 5. I'll be generous here. It could be 4, but I think Luka will be able to win the Mavericks a game. I mean, the Suns, you got Devin Booker, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson, Cameron Payne. It never seems to end. You also got Jay Crowder. I mean, this team is stacked for sure. And I think the Suns are definitely a championship team. This is the best team they've ever had. We got the Grizzlies and the Warriors. Like I said earlier in the video, the Warriors are a very boom or bust team, and they are going to bust. And I think the Grizzlies are going to win this series in 5 games. Yes, I said it. The Grizzlies, I'm sick of them being slept on. Ja Morant is a superstar. Desmond Bane is definitely a future all-star in this league. I think even next year, he is great. He might even win Most Improved Player. Dylan Brooks is also great. You also got Steven Adams. Jaren Jackson Jr., how could I forget? This Grizzlies team is great, and they are going to win this in 5 games. The Miami Heat versus the Milwaukee Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals. This series will come down to star power, really, because I think both teams are stacked from top to bottom, but the Milwaukee Bucks, they have the best player in this series, Giannis Antetokounmpo, by a mile, really. But at the same time, I feel like the Heat, especially if they get Prime Oladipo back, they will be working as an efficient unit. This Heat team will move on to the finals in 7 games. Now in the Western Conference Finals, I got the Memphis Grizzlies against the Phoenix Suns. I feel like the Grizzlies, as much as they are a great team, they don't quite have the experience to beat such a great team like the Phoenix Suns. I think this will be an amazing series, but I think the Phoenix Suns will win this in 6 games, maybe 7. Wouldn't be surprised if it was 7, but I got the Phoenix Suns moving on. Now, the NBA Finals. I think these 2 teams, the Phoenix Suns and the Miami Heat, are the 2 most stacked teams in these playoffs. I mean, Brooklyn, of course, is very stacked, but they are a 7 seed, and they're really just starting to play with each other for the first time, especially with Ben Simmons coming back. But these 2 teams are stacked from top to bottom. This will be a hard-fought series, but the Phoenix Suns will win their first championship in franchise history in 6 games, and your finals MVP will be Devin Booker. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.